Hey guys, appreciate you coming out. Day one in the books. What can I help you with?
What was the overall impressions day one? What are your thoughts on everything?
Well, I think the guys did a really good job. They came out ready to practice. We've had a good summer, so the rules have changed a little bit. Back in the old days, the first day you hadn't seen them all summer. You weren't allowed to. Now we're allowed to work with them a little bit, and so it's I think kind of just hit the ground running, and they did a really good job. I was pleased.
Just with Gavin, what do you want to kind of see from him throughout training camp as he kind of continues to assert himself as the starter, take command of that offense, being a leader of that unit? What do you want to kind of see that progression?
You kind of hit it on the head, right? Being a leader, number one, taking command of the offense, making it his offense, knowing it inside and out, being able to problem solve, right? Kirk, I remember Kirk saying at the beginning, when we go to play a game, I want him to be the coach on the field. So learning that level of expertise in what he's doing, and then obviously the physical skills then take over.
What are you doing to evaluate the wide receiver room and kind of set the depth chart there?
Well, it's a great battle right now. I think we have a combination of youth and experience, with the two fellows we brought in the transfer portal, with Nassim and Jaquay. They're working well. I think Isaiah Washington, a 6-year senior, he's been here a long time. I think he's hitting his stride. Chris Long. And then there's a whole slew of others that are really good young players that just need to play. So we need to make sure that we provide enough repetitions. We two-spot a lot of drills, as you see, so everybody's getting reps. And then we got a lot of tape to watch between now and meetings this afternoon. So that's really a push, but it's worth it because players learn by doing. And the more they can do it, the better they're going to get.
Were there any guys that impressed you in terms of how they looked physically, having gone through the program this summer, just that stood out?
Really, everybody got physically better. JB, Coach Butler read me our strength totals and tests. It's the strongest team we've ever had here, going forward. They worked really hard this summer, and it showed. And that wasn't the longest or toughest practice, and kind of a little bit of cloud cover, and it wasn't real hot, but they did a good job. And you can see that they were excited, maybe a little too excited at the beginning. We were dropping some balls. I'm like, what are we doing? But they got the nerves off, and then they did a good job.
Greg, in your first 3 years back, it seemed the offense's philosophy was to kind of get a steady rotation of offensive linemen throughout the game. Now, with a new OC on board, do you want to find a starting five that would gel together, or you want to keep rotating guys?
Well, we never, that isn't exactly right. We weren't like trying to rotate the O-line. That was out of necessity, not out of preference. I'd love to have 5 guys that play together all the time, right? That's the way you want it to be, and then you have subs that are there in case people, get dinged or have an equipment issue. But we just haven't had that. So what we've done is try to mix it up and keep guys fresh and, try to maximize their ability. I'm confident that we're going to have a starting 5 that are going to play together. That's the way it appears now. I don't know exactly who those 5 are going to be, but yeah, I think we've made improvement there. We just have to continue this camp. We got 30 days of football, 25 practices, now 24, and we just got to take advantage of every single one. Just focus on getting this much better today and add it all up and see where we stand, come the 3rd.
And now, given that you said that you want to rotate guys in, keep them fresh, is that something that you want to apply to the other rooms on not just the offense but the entire team, given that it's only day one?
Well, I wasn't saying that on the O-line. I don't want to rotate. I'd like to have 5 guys play together. On the D-line, we'll play 10 guys. At linebacker, I think we're going to have 3 or 4 guys that need to play. So we'll keep, those guys will be fresh. In the secondary, we've always rotated corners. So when you have players that are capable, then you do it. When you don't, then you don't. And I feel better about where we are personnel-wise. We're a year more mature physically, emotionally in the scheme. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Really what it boils down to is competition right now. We have some real good competitions going on out there on the field, and I've never seen that not make people better. Competition The old saying, the cream rises to the top, I believe that.
Greg, when you came back, you had to teach everyone your culture. You got some guys now that have been in the program for 4 years. What's the leadership like for this group? Now they know how you want things done.
Yeah, it's a great point, Fooch. And the reality is now we have a player-led team. And we had a little situation last night. They immediately called me. And I love that, right? Like, I wouldn't have ever had that before. They called, Coach, this happened. What do you want us to do about it? That, to me, that's what you need, a player-led team. If there's something, they have a question, they come to me with it. Otherwise, they run the team. And that allows me to do my job, allows our assistant coaches to do their job. It reminds me a little bit of the first go-round when Leonard and those guys started to take over the team. And it's critical. I've never been a part of a winning team that wasn't player-led.
And in terms of the running back group, as you head into training camp, what are you looking to see out of that part of the offense?
Well, that's another room. There's great competition, right? When you look at the depth in that room, it's really good. And it's also kind of staged by years. So they're all kind of fall into a chronological slot, which is good. You know, that's what you want to do. You want to keep that rotation of backs. And there's a position where you at least play two. And sometimes if you might have two in first and second, and then one maybe be a sub back in third. So we'll work through it, but the competition right now it's got to play itself out.
Time for two more.
Coach, you talked a lot about being a player-led team, but this coaching staff, you said, is the most experienced and maybe one of the best that you've had. Did you see that on display today, and was there something where you just kind of saw that group and that experience come out?
Yeah, I've seen that really since spring. I love the chemistry that the defensive staff has amongst themselves and then with the players, and they all stayed intact. We got a great administration here, a great board, great president, AD who support us. So we were able to retain that defensive staff, and then we were able to go out and hire an offensive staff that I'm really, really pleased with. So yeah, they're really good. We got a lot of work ahead of us in the next 24 practices, but it's, to me, training camp is the time when you make the most improvement. There's no other distractions. There's no school, there's no girlfriends, there's nothing. It's all about ball. And for a coach, it's the best time of the year. So we got to make huge improvements. I've expressed that to the team, and today is step one. I just told them, take it one step at a time, and they did that today. So now we get into meetings, and what you see is the practice, but meetings are critical, right? To be able to watch what you just did on video, be able to be coached, that's the secret. Because then tonight we are allowed to have a walkthrough, so we come out and have a walkthrough, which lasts for about an hour. And then they go to bed and get up and go practice again the next day. So, how do you not get better when you do it, you see it, you walk through it, and then you come out and do it again? And you just do that. Now, that's why training camp's tough. But as I told them yesterday, training camp's supposed to be tough. It's all the work you do is to get you ready to have a great training camp, which gives you a chance to have a great season. I've never been on a team that we had a bad training camp and went out and had a great season. It just doesn't happen. It's the old, you reap what you sow.
Finish with Bobby and Brian.
Greg, you lost Christian Izzian, but Shaquan played behind him some last year. How confident you are in him, and what do you expect from him this year?
Shaquan's a really good player, just needs experience, needs reps. He's explosive, understands the game, hand-eye coordination. He's got it all.
Bounce off that, just safety, you lose Christian, you lose Avery Young to graduation. What's that position looking like? And is the fact that you have more depth at linebacker, does that change kind of things you could do on the back end of the defense, how you guys?
I don't think the linebacker doesn't affect the back end too much, but we have, Flip Dixon has really shown me that he's a Big Ten safety. And, our deal is we're a 5 defensive back scheme as long as people are playing with sub personnel, 3 wideouts, 4 wideouts. You call it a 4-2-5, call it whatever you want to call it. I just call it 5 defensive backs on the field. And so that's the trick, finding the right mix of the best 5. And then having the subs to come in and, outside corners, inside nickels, inside stars. There's different jobs that go along with that. So, but Coach Harasimiak and he does a really good job of personnelling things. Very impressed with the way they do that. And Drew Lascari coaches our safeties. He's doing a really good job because those guys are kind of they move up and back. And Coach Orfei is a pro coaching those corners. So we have talent in the secondary, and I think we have really, really fine coaching. So we have a chance that could be a part of our strength. But I think really I like all three levels of our defense. We just got to get reps and get precise in what we're doing, and then just play as hard as we can. And that's what I expect from them. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming out.